the government said that they were going to be closing migrant hotels. But, well, there's a new one. The Britannia Hotel in London is going to be used to house illegal immigrants. We've actually got the latest from this evening outside that hotel. Well, we've been seeing a lot of that back and forth recently, haven't we, between the Refugees Welcome Brigade and people who do not want a whopping great big migrant hotel in their area. Now, that hotel is going to be housing illegal migrants, but unfortunately, nobody told the people who were booked to stay there.
Who arranged another hotel for us. You are told the agent to stop the booking.
You've got to feel so sorry for those people. That's really low, isn't it? They've booked to come and stay somewhere and they get there and it's shut. And nobody seemed to consult the staff who worked at that hotel either, because apparently they've now been left in the lurch. The left-wingers seem very quiet about workers' rights when it comes to people who lose their jobs at migrant hotels, though, don't they? As news got out, people started to turn up to protest.
There's a lot of people.
Here's something I think that you'll find really interesting. We went to the Home Office and we asked if it was going to be used as a migrant hotel, and they flatly refused. They said no. They said, no, it's not happening. It's not happening. Well, that was not true. Pictures emerged of people taking beds in and sheeting for new arrivals, and then later that day, they admitted that the hotel could now be used as an overflow facility. It's a 4-star hotel. It will cost about £500,000 a fortnight to rent out the whole thing. There are British people in that area who say that they need help and that they're not getting it, like this woman who turned up to say her piece.
I'm here today because I've been waiting nearly 19 years. I'm homeless with 4 children, and I've been up the housing several times, many years, and they turned around and said they've got no properties, they've got no room for me. They shipped me out to Ilford about 5 months ago. They took me out of my support network, they took my children away from their schools.
And other people whose loved ones have struggled to come to this country legally and have had to pay a lot of money to do so are also not happy.
Me and my girlfriend, we stay in Canary Wharf. My girlfriend is a legal immigrant from Hong Kong. She's beautiful, smart, contributes a lot to society. She's spent probably £50,000 moving to the UK. She works very hard, pays a lot of taxes, and one of her biggest concerns is London is her safety. When she's walking about London sometimes, especially central London, she feels a bit scared. She says there's lots of foreign men walking about, it can be very scary at times. And I'm very concerned when because I don't always stay in Canary Wharf, I go back to Scotland sometimes, and I'm very concerned that when I go back to Scotland and I'm not around protecting her, there's going to be 500, 600 strange men walking about the street. If I'm wrong and these are all women and children, then I'm happy to welcome them.
That's fair enough. People are sick of it, and they've had enough of being lectured by people like this.
I just think it's really, really important for people to understand that there are no safe and legal routes for refugees to come to this country. This is the only way they can come here. It's on a boat to pay. Yeah, they've got the whole of Europe. Why should we put that burden on the rest of Europe?
Well, what you're going to see in a second is that she is confronted by a man. And look, I'm not necessarily condoning the exact way that he confronts her, as you're about to hear. But what you'll see is he's very angry. It sounds like a man who is at his wit's end. And people are fed up of being lectured to about these lofty ideas of decency and how we always have to take these people in. And perhaps she's never come face to face with this level of anger.
They're not choosing to leave their country at their home, their children, their parents.
Children, you shouldn't of our children.
Excuse me.
Who gets raped, you should be off.
Well, there you go. You can just tell she's never been confronted like that before, can't you? Which is interesting. But nobody sent the message out to the Tower Hamlets Labour Party. They're about how people on the ground are feeling. Here's what they said. We are appalled that some right-wing extremists are seeking to use this moment to stir up racial hatred against refugees and other migrants too. And we stand with the overwhelming majority of decent people here in Tower Hamlets who will reject their divisive politics, just as our borough rejected Mosley's black shirts in the 1930s and the BNP in the 1990s. And see, I think that's the problem. Because are they comparing people like that Scottish lad we just heard from, or a couple of the other people, that lady's been on the housing waiting list for however many years, she said, is she comparing them to Mosley's black shirts of the 1930s? Is it... I don't think people deserve to be called that, do they? Now, it seems to be the mindset, though, doesn't it, of the current party of government. I mean, here's what Sir Keir Starmer thinks about housing for illegals.
What other accommodation, precisely, are you planning to take over to provide temporary accommodation for families?
Oh, there's lots of housing in many local authorities that can be used, and we're identifying where it can be used.
He then couldn't go on to tell you where any of it actually was, really. I don't think this can go on much longer.
If you're a US resident, let's face it, things feel uncertain right now. America's national debt, over $36 trillion and climbing. Inflation, still eating away at your savings. And the dollar, down nearly 8% this year, with more countries walking away from it. Meanwhile, the markets, one day they're up, the next day, trillions gone in a blink. So it's no surprise people are asking, where can I actually put my money and sleep at night? That's why more investors are turning to gold and silver. Gold's up over 24% this year, smashing records and soaring past $3,300 an ounce. And some analysts say we could see $6,000 gold before the end of Trump's term. And silver, it's heating up fast, driven by demand in tech, solar and defence. Some analysts say it could double in value this year. If you've been thinking about moving part of your IRA or 401k into gold or silver, tax and penalty free, our friends at Priority Gold make it simple. They're endorsed by Rich Dad's Robert Kiyosaki, ranked #1 by Forbes and Financial Services Review, and trusted by thousands of everyday Americans. Right now, GBNews viewers can get a free wealth preservation guide from Priority Gold. It shows you exactly how to add real gold and silver to your IRA or 401k tax and penalty free. Step by step, plain English, no pressure, just smart information you can act on. Just scan the QR code, click the link in the description below, or if you're a US resident, text WEALTH to 24999. That's WEALTH to 24999 and claim your free guide today. The price of gold can go down as well as up. Past performance does not indicate future performance. Only invest what you can afford.
Let's get the thoughts of my panel. We have got the former Vice Chairman of the Tory Party, Jonathan Gullis, businessman and activist Adam Brooks, and journalist and broadcaster Nina Mishkov. Thank you very much. Jonathan, I'll start with you. The scenes at that Britannia Hotel, firstly, we were told it didn't exist, that it was not going to be used for migrants. Then it turns out it is. So there appears to be some level of deception there.
Look, the British people are sick of being treated like mugs, and as you say, it was abundantly clear what this hotel was going to be used for. Another Britannia hotel chain like the one we had in Stoke-on-Trent, where women who were fleeing domestic violence were turfed out to instead house illegal migrants directly opposite a railway station that has on average 6 million people go through it each and every year, the gateway to our city as a tourist destination. On top of that, we've also got the ugly reality that people are going to be getting 3 meals a day, they're going to be having a nice safe roof over their head, and obviously dentist access, GP support and whatever else. And quite frankly, and rightly, the British people are sick to the back teeth of being treated in this manner. And I understand why there is widespread anger, because we came in under this Labour government with a big promise to smash the gangs. They're up by 50% in terms of small boats crossings, over 23,000 so far. We haven't even hit the peak of summer. God knows what it'll be like before the government comes back after recess. And ultimately, it's time to get tough, it's time to get radical, it's time to detain, it's time to deport, and it's time to look at alternative accommodation. And as I've said before, tents are a very good option, which we should put in fields somewhere.
All right. Adam, your thoughts on on the Britannia Hotel situation?
Look, it's another complete sellout of the poorest people in that area and the taxpayers. You know, that is luxury compared with what a lot of people in this country have to live by. People that cannot afford to give their kids a good breakfast, yet they're going to have a buffet 3 times a day. What I would do is urge the local shopkeepers around there to be very careful of theft, because local people around my area have told me how much shoplifting is going on from our local migrant hotel, and I would urge women and children to be more vigilant about their movements in that area of East London. There is no getting away from the link between behaviour from the people put in these hotels and what people are fearing. The country has had enough. Greece now is putting up the barricades. Greece I think they're detaining people now, Greece. Other countries are getting hard. Denmark, Sweden. People are leaving. Why are we getting more? Why are we encouraging these people more when other countries can be more hardline?
There are also aspects of it, Nina, which I just find really disrespectful. There was a chap there that we showed you who had booked a room at that hotel. There was another clip as well that I saw from someone, I think it was from Hong Kong. They said, same thing, they were coming for a holiday and they've booked in there, they've done it through a travel company, they arrive and they're just told by security, no, we're shut. And the staff at these hotels are very often laid off. We're not exactly sure about the staff at the Britannia, but we know that at other hotels they've just been sacked on the spot. So, I mean, that's very disrespectful to people, isn't it?
It is disrespectful to people and it shouldn't happen. But the reason why there is so much fuss there is precisely because it's happened via social media that the people from Epping were going to be shipped into the Britannia Hotel. That the Britannia Hotel, which charges 400 odd quid a room, was going to be used for that. Well, it's not going to be used for the people from the Epping Hotel. That's been made...
I corrected that earlier in the day yesterday.
Well, you did, but the thing is, that was before, you know, what you said and other people. So that was just the usual sort of hysteria fired up by social media. Added to that, the government, I believe, has negotiated a rate, if they're going to be using it, of £81 a night.
Brilliant.
Well, no.
It could work out just for context. It could work out as £500,000 every fortnight. That because of the amount of rooms.
Well, it could do, but £81 instead of 400. So they've negotiated that, but they said it's not going to be Epping. The trouble with this whole situation, it is completely catastrophised and exacerbated. And the more hatred is poured, it's like pouring petrol on fire.
It's not hatred, it's fear.
It is.
Well, we fear, Nina. I speak for the majority. We are scared for our kids in this country.
That's rather arrogant of you to say you speak for the majority.
I do speak for the majority, Nina.
You do not know the majority.
If there was a national poll on stopping the boats, it would be 85%. If we had a referendum,
Adam,
which we should have...
that is your supposition.
No.
Not everybody thinks like you.
Get out
Not
of the real
everybody.
World,
I am in the real world. I've lived in the real world a lot longer than you, and I've seen a lot more than you. So let me tell you, this is not a situation that can be sorted by social media and people who believe that migrants are not people. May I point out, look at humanity and compassion as opposed to aggression.
OK. All right, well, Jonathan, I'll bring you in on this because there are a couple of things from that specific hotel that really stood out to me. So you've got a lady there who says that she's been on some kind of housing waiting list for the best part of 19 years, 4 kids, her whole life's been turned upside down. I mean, she actually used the phrase, I think, my life has been ruined. She was a bit of that where she said her daughter, because they had to move, her daughter was then sexually assaulted on the Elizabeth line, and then now is fearful of going outside. They can't get her some permanent accommodation.
And who was she assaulted by on the Elizabeth line? Do we know?
We don't know.
Well, exactly. So you're assuming that it's a migrant.
No, I'm not. What I am saying, Nina, is that what she wants to be able to have now is her own place for her and her 4 children, so that they can feel safer. And she's not getting that. Whereas there is a hotel there where people are going to be able to get their accommodation, and it just feels like ordinary Brits are maybe at the back of the queue there.
It's 2-tier Britain under 2-tier care all over again, and Nina says we should be grateful it's only £81 a night.
I'm not saying grateful, I'm pointing out something factual, Jonathan, which you might not be...
about the £81 per night. In fact, Nina, I am factual about it, because I remember when I was one of the first MPs in the House of Commons to stand up and name and shame a hotel, the North Stafford Hotel, which is run by the Britannia chain, opposite the railway station. I remember the next day, headlines being, oh, this is disgraceful to name hotels. It's an utter shame that put the danger of migrants at risk. What about the fact that Baroness Casey's audit has said that more and more child rape gangs are filled by illegal migrants committing these crimes? What about the 14-month pathetic sentence that a 27-year-old Eritrean illegal migrant did after assaulting a 19-year-old girl with special education needs? What about the fact that 34% of all sexual... I'm not shouting. It's a pathetic attempt to try and get some victim mentality.
It's not a pathetic attempt.
It's true.
You are shouting.
34% of sexual convictions in this country are committed by foreign nationals when actually they make up 11% of the population.
It's not a good look,
serious
Jonathan.
Danger. No, again, this is some pathetic attempt to try and make out that I've been unfair and cruel to you and you're a victim of something when actually I'm
not saying that. I'm not saying that. My ears are sore, that's all.
Being taken advantage of.
I will say that the people watching through these cameras now will be cheering you on, Jonathan. Well said, thank you very much.
And there will be lots of people who are sitting there saying two guys shouting at one woman.
This is exactly what you wanted to frame it as, and it's boring and predictable.
I'm not framing anything. I'm pointing out the truth.
Let's not veer into the realms of the personal on this, because there's a very serious matter.
I'll tell you what is a really bad look for the rest of the world, for us, for the rest of the world, that tourists from different countries are coming here thinking they're coming here for a nice holiday or a trip, and they cannot get in their hotel because we have got foreign immigrants in that hotel. That sends a message to the world.
There are no foreign immigrants. There are no foreign immigrants in that hotel. There are none.
What are they then?
So what are they going to be then?
Are you making the point that they're going
to be?
Right.
So they've shut it.
But they are not foreign.
But what have they? Okay,
you
Nina,
just said.
Why have they shut it, Nina?
You just. I have no idea. We don't know that yet.
Well,
but you said there were foreign immigrants in the hotel, and they are not. That was a lie.
Okay. All right. Well, look, we've got a Home Office spokesperson said that the government was, quote, making strong strides to deliver a more sustainable and cost-effective asylum accommodation system. This includes ending the use of hotels, testing new locally led models, and working closely with local authorities and other departments to ensure a fairer, more efficient approach. Our use of any property or Home Office-owned site will be used in line with the permissions set by planning permissions. Right, well, there we go.